Hey guys, I have a couple videos, hopefully. I'm going to try to put out a couple videos today. Um, Today I want to talk about the concept of God's provision. Um, I want to share a story with you, and then I want to share. I do believe that God can provide for us, but I want to share an example out of the Bible. I think a lot of people take verses out of context, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about this, but let me know what you think in the comments when this is over. Um, the other day I'm a member of this group on Facebook called Quarantine Karaoke. It's just a fun little group um, where people sing or whatever. And the other day there was this girl who was singing on Quarantine Karaoke. And sometimes if people sing and you like what they're singing, you can leave them virtual tips. They have they can put their Cash App or their Chime account ID, and if you like their singing or if you want to help them out, you can just go leave them a tip for singing, the same as you would any other place. Like if you see a singer on the street and they have like a little guitar case open and you like what they're singing, you can throw the tip in. Well, it's the same way, but it's just virtual. Well, anyway, this girl was talking about, how she was having a really hard time, and she said her car had broke down, she had lost her job. Um, I can't remember, but she had basically gone through a lot of stuff, and she said, "Hey, look, if you could please leave a tip, it would be greatly appreciated, because I'm really having a hard time here." So anyway, I was, and she seemed genuine or whatever. I know a lot of people try to just take advantage of people sometimes, but I had no reason to think the girl was lying about any hardship she was going through. Heaven knows a lot of people are going through hardship right now. But anyway, she was just saying that she was going through hardship, and if people could please leave a tip for her singing, she would appreciate it. Well, I looked in the comments, and there were a lot of comments that were well intentioned. So this isn't a criticism by any means, but they were very well intentioned. But I noticed, like one lady was like, "Oh, thoughts and prayers," and then another lady is like, "Oh, don't worry, God will provide for you." Um, and I just saw like a pattern of those kind of comments, and I started thinking, it reminds me of the verse from James 2:16. Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you tells him, "Go in peace, stay warm and well fed," but does not provide for his physical needs, what good is that? So too, faith by itself, if it does not result in action, is dead. It's easy to say, "Oh, God will provide," but if you don't meet their physical needs, what good is that? I think I kind of want to share a story from the Bible, okay? And then I have a lesson at the end of this whole thing. And like I said, I'm not criticizing the people that said that, you know, because I didn't help the girl, so I'm not criticizing, you know, but I just kind of want to share. I just want to share my thoughts on this. Anyway, imagine. I want you guys to think about the story of the feeding of the 5,000. Whenever Jesus fed the hungry crowds, um, Jesus took what little he was given, loaves and fishes, and he blessed it. He gave thanks, and then he shared what he had. Jesus shared what resources he had, the resources he was given. He shared them, and then God provided. God provides when we share our resources. That's the lesson that I get out of that. So God does provide, but I believe He provides when we share our resources. Don't get me wrong, God in His grace and in His mercy can provide, whenever He wants to. But I believe that this is telling us that whenever we share with others, then God provides. I believe that's a lesson about God's provision right there. But to tell somebody, yeah, God will provide without helping them, to me, that is a way of not doing our duty to our brother and sister. I think a lot of times, we have these little ways of, I don't know how to say this without, I think whenever we tell somebody God will provide and we do not help them, that's kind of like, it's almost like spiritual laziness in a way. It's almost like saying in James 2:16, oh, go in peace, stay warm, be well fed, But it's not, it's not, it's faith, but without action. And the Bible says faith without action is dead. So this is just really a heart check. And this is for me too. The Bible says if we see a brother in need and do not help him, then how can the love of God be in us? So just to tell somebody, yeah, God will provide, thoughts and prayers, all that is well-meaning and well-intentioned, but it doesn't help the person that you're telling that to. So this is just a heart check, that we would be more generous in sharing what we have. And this is for me too, because I am not perfect at this. I'm really not. It's a struggle sometimes. It really is, I think we're all used to our comforts. We're all used to that certain comfort zone. And sometimes giving and sharing, it stretches us in a way that a lot of times it's uncomfortable, because we're like, well, what about my needs? Are my needs going to be met, But I believe that whenever we do share our resources, then God provides. And we see that in the lesson of the feeding of the 5,000. It kind of reminds me, I don't want to beat up a lot of the churches. I know I've done that a lot. But there are a lot of churches that will say, oh, if you just give to the church, God will provide. But a lot of times whenever the congregation needs help, does the church provide for the congregation? Whenever the pastor needs help, the churches give the pastor whatever he needs. But a lot of times, whenever the people need help, is the pastor helping? So if you're in a church where you see a lot of need in the congregation and you see the pastor's needs being met, but you don't see the needs of everyone around you being met, that's not a good place to be. The very first church, the model for church in the book of Acts, is one where everyone laid all their possessions down at the feet of the disciples. And the disciples didn't hoard those possessions. They didn't say, oh, yay, I'm rich, woohoo! And then, what the disciples did was they took all those possessions and they distributed them to everyone that had a need, so that nobody was lacking anything. Nobody was without. Nobody was hungry. Nobody was without shelter. Everybody was taken care of. And that is the biblical model for what churches should be doing. So one thing that I like about, the other day I had a blessing bag. I had talked about making some blessing bags for the community, and I've ordered a bunch of stuff. I'm still waiting on it to come in from Sam's. But what I like, guys, is we came together as a community to make this happen. And I just want to say that I appreciate that. That's the way that church should be done. You see a need out there, and then everybody pitches in, doesn't leave it all on one person. Everybody pitches in and helps the community. And I just want to say thank you for that. I started making a video last night, but I quit making it. But I know a lot of people, right now there's a lot of people in my neighborhood who are suffering. Well, one guy's not in my neighborhood. He's a member of the channel, and he's just going through a lot right now. And another guy is suffering with cancer. He's been suffering with cancer for a while. So one thing that I'm thinking about doing is from time to time making videos about needs in the community and seeing if people want to help to meet that need, just to help out brothers and sisters. But anyway, I hope somebody got something from this video. God does provide, but I believe God provides whenever we share. Whenever we extend ourselves in faith. Because faith without action is dead. If we see a brother in need, we should help that person. And this is just a heart check, because like I said, I'm not perfect in these things. I may put, I'm going to put in the description box, maybe. I'm going to put some stuff in the description. So if you guys want to look at that. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks.